What if I told you you could build your own unbiased and non-rigged slot machine? That too just using Google Sheets. Would you believe me? No? Well, that's what I'm going to show you today. So here is a very own slot machine built in Google Sheets. So like any other slot machine, the very first thing is we will need to enter the coins, the initial coins that we need to start off the game with. So let's say we will enter 100 coins over here. Now when you enter the 100 coins, you see that the balance is shown over here. Keep a watch on the balance while you keep playing the game. Now the difference in this slot machine is you have an option to select the high and the low numbers. So you could have a slot machine ranging from 1 to 7, or 0 to 10, or 100 to 200, whatever numbers you need. So for this example, we'll be taking just two digits, that is from 1 and 2, so that it becomes easier for us to understand how this machine works. So once we have done that, so here we'll be entering the winning multiplier. The winning multiplier is the number of times the amount should be multiplied based on the bet that has been placed on the line. So let's say we want to have the multiplier as 5, and then we need to enter the bet per line. So we will say 2 coins per line. Once we do that, you see that the first line, the first row has already been selected. And it says that the total bet was, since there are 5 lines over here, this first line, second line, third line, and 2 diagonal lines are going to be checked. It has taken 2 into 5 lines, that is the total bet for this spin was 10. And we have won a total of 10 because the top line, the bet value was 2 coins, but the multiplier was 5. So we bet 10 coins and the total winning was 10. So our balance is still 100. So let's play for some time and see the results. So here we spin again, and yes, we got a diagonally top again, and we got a bottom once again. Wow, we got two now. This time we got the middle row and the diagonally bottom line, the bottom row as well. We can even go and keep changing the multiplier if you want. So we will say make the multiplier 2, and let's say make the bet per line as 10 this time. And now let's see what happened. Now you saw here we did not win anything, and so our amount fell down to 50. And now again, this time we got 3 lines, that is diagonally top, the middle row, and the bottom. And this is how we keep playing. Let's change the bet per line once again to maybe 3, and make the multiplier as 10 this time. You can keep adjusting as much as you want. Once you see that your balance is reducing, you need to keep changing this so that the game keeps on continuing. And here we won again, and that is how our value is increasing now. The multiplier is higher and the bet value is lower, the chances of winning and increasing the coins increases. If the multiplier is less and the bet value is, wow, we won all the lines this time, and the bet value is maybe, we will say 10. And now let's see, it says only middle row. Now here if you see, the numbers are juggling between 1 and 2. Now let's make this a bit difficult, and let's change this to 7. And now you see the numbers are random out here, and let's make this also as 2. And now you see the chances of winning a line are much lesser as compared to what you were getting earlier. So we keep playing for some time, and there, once you lose all your coins, the game is over. To restart the game, we all need to do is press Ctrl Shift and 5, and everything comes back to 0. To start off, again you need to enter the number of coins that you want to play with, and the game continues. So don't need to go to Vegas anymore. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be building a fully functional slot machine using Google Sheets. So let's get started. So to build this, we'll be using these functions and a lot of conditional formatting. So let's go to the blank canvas for us. So now the very first thing that we are going to use is the RANDBETWEEN function. So what does a RANDBETWEEN function do is, for example, the RANDBETWEEN function displays a random number between the two numbers specified in the range. So let's say we want to see a number that is between 1 to 10. So we'll say RANDBETWEEN and then it says enter the low value. So we'll say 1 and then we'll say high value of 10, close brackets and enter. So you see it shows us 6 over here. Now if we keep refreshing it, the number will keep updating, but it will range only between 1 and 10. So this is where our difficulty level comes into picture. So if we give a low value of 1 and a high value of 5, the difficulty will be less as compared to the high value if it is given as 10. So the very first thing is we need to put this function over here. So for that what we will do is we will copy this function out here, and that is equal to RANDBETWEEN. Now here we have said we had manually given the low and the high value, but here we want the input to come from a cell which the user is going to enter. So for that we will give the low value as the cell reference and we will make it an absolute value, and then we will give a high value, that is the other cell reference, and again make it an absolute value, and then we will close parenthesis and we will press enter. Now since there are no values over here, by default it is going to show us 0. So now let's just copy this in the entire all the cells. And so our slot machine is ready out here. Now all we need to do is enter the values and we can initiate the basic game of playing without entering any coins. So let's say our minimum value is 1 and the high value is 2. But if you see, before we do that, we have got an error over here. So we will need to wrap this with the IFERROR function so that if there is no value being shown out here, it should not throw any error. So we will be using the IFERROR function here in parentheses and then close it. Now if you see, the high value has not been mentioned, but the cell is blank. So what we will be doing is we'll be copying this again and then we'll be updating all the cells. So now the formula has been pasted in all these 9 cells, and now if we put a value of, for example, 5 and press enter, you see randomly the numbers are showing up, and every time we refresh, these random numbers are being displayed the way it happens in a slot machine, but within the range that we have specified. Let's increase the range this time, and let's say we want a range from 50 to 60, and let's see what happens. So now if you see, the numbers that you see out here are going to range between 50 and 60. So this is totally up to you. The difference in the range is the one that is going to define the difficulty. 50 to 60 is same as 1 to 10. But if the range is 1 to 60, then this is a very big range and the difficulty level is going to be very high and the chances of you getting a line or winning are going to be very bleak. So now once this is done, what we need to do is we'll need to figure out as to what line, if we are winning, it has to identify and show display that that line has been won. So for that, what we need to do is we need to write a function, and that function is going to be equal to and open parenthesis, and then we need to give an expression out here. So out here we are going to say that if this cell is equal to this, and if this is equal to this, that means it is true. So now you see it is false because these numbers are not matching. But if we keep trying and refreshing, we will come to a state wherein we will see a true out here. So for testing purposes, we will decrease the range and we will keep this as 2 so that we can see the results much faster. Now you see all the numbers are same in the first row, so it is saying true. But what we want is we want a custom value out here. To get a custom value, what we need to do is we will need to wrap it with a if function. So what we'll do is we'll go to the cell again, and then we will say if open parenthesis, and before that we will make this as absolute values, so that if you have to use these functions formulas in some different cell, the values are not changed. So now we are saying if this and this, and if the expression value is true, what should it display? So we will say, since this is the top row, we will say we want to display that top row is 1. So we will say top row here, and if it is false, we don't want to display anything, so we'll just give quotes out there and with parenthesis and press enter. Now you see it is not showing anything, but when the values are met, if everything is correct, it is showing it as top row. So now the same thing has to be applied for the middle row, the bottom row, and the 2 diagonal rows. So all that we will do is we will have to copy the same formula again, and we will say equal to if, and then the AND function, and here we need to first identify the logical expressions. So we will say this equals to this, comma, this again equals to this. This is the way that we used to do earlier, is A is to B and B is to C, so A is to C. So that is what expression we are trying to build out here, wherein we are saying that if this is A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then this value is true and this is what it should display. So we will close this parenthesis, and now this time what is the message that we want to show is we want to say diagonally top. As it is coming from bottom to top and it is going diagonal, we will say diagonally top. And if nothing, then we want it to be blank, so we will close it and we will leave it this way. Now the same way we need to update the formula out here. So again we will say first start off with if, then the AND function, and again we need to give the logical parameters here, expressions here. So if this equals to this, comma, and this again equals to this, then it has to say middle row, else don't show anything. And here we press enter. Now you see the top row is being shown out here because all the numbers are same. Middle row again it is showing the same. Let's do that for the bottom row as well. So we'll say equal to if, and then we will have to say and this equals to this, comma, this equals to this, close parenthesis, and then we will say bottom row. So bottom row, and if the value is not true, then we want it to be blank. And now the last entry that we need to do is diagonally bottom, wherein we want to check these numbers. So again we will use the same formula, if, and then end, and then we say this equals to this, comma, and this equals to this, and if the value is true, then we say diagonally bottom. The reason we are going to call it diagonally bottom is because it is coming from top to bottom and it is diagonal, and we close the parenthesis here. So now to check if everything is showing up correctly, what we will do is we will make this value as 1 again. So now you see it shows as diagonally top, top row, middle row, bottom row, and diagonally bottom. So now we can change the values once again and see if it is updating in real time or not. So now it says bottom row is 1, the line that we have 1, and the diagonally bottom line. Now, along with this, what we need to do is let's color code it. So out here we'll be using conditional formatting so that if any row is 1, it should even get highlighted out here. So for that, what we will do is select the cell, go to conditional formatting. Okay, and we need to select the range. So we will select the range out here. So we will say select, add another range, that is this, and then we will say this and say okay, and then we will say custom formula. And the custom formula is, what is the custom formula? We want only when this cell value is showing as top row should this be conditional formatted. So we will say equal to, the cell value is J7, so we will say $J7, make it an absolute value, equals to, when it shows the value as top row, the conditional formatting that we want is, we want to make the background as yellow, change the font color to red and make it bold, and we say done. Now this is how, what we will need to do is, let's test it out first. So now you see when the top row is 1, the top row is highlighted as well. So let's do the same thing for all the other rows. So let's select this, go to format, conditional formatting, and now we'll need to select the range out here. So this is selected, add another range, select this, add another range, and select this, and then say okay, and then we say again custom formula is, and this time the custom formula is going to be equal to $J10 equals to, and what is the formula out here that it shows up is, we need if middle row is shown up. So we will say when middle row is 1, that is the time the conditional formatting should apply. And again, the formatting is going to be the same. And we say done. And the same way we will do for this as well. So we will say conditional formatting. Then we'll select the range, add another range, add another range. Then we say okay, come here, come to custom formula is, and this time what does it say? It says bottom row. So for this we will have to say equal to j equal to $j, and what is the value of the cell out here is j13. So $13 equal to bottom row. Once that happens, again conditional formatting values we'll need to set. There's a lot of conditional formatting that we need to do in this exercise. Now the same way we need to do conditional formatting for the diagonal rows as well. So we again come back to this cell and then go to conditional formatting, and then we say add another rule. Now this time we will have to set another range out here. So this is there, add another range, that is this one, and then add another range which is this one, and then we say okay, and then again set the custom formula, and this time the custom formula is going to be for this cell. So that is equal to $j $16 equals to diagonally bottom. So when this value is true, it will conditionally format it and highlight the cells. Then make it bold and say done. In the same way, we need to do it for diagonally top as well. So we click over here and then we say add another rule. Again, we will have to select the range. So this is selected. We'll say add another range. Click on this cell, add another range, click on this cell, and then say okay. Say custom formula is, and this time this is the cell in which the formula has been put up. So that is J4, the value of equal to $J $4 equals to diagonally top. And then we say when it is true, update this colors and highlight it. And we say done. Now let's test it and see if it is working. So now we see diagonally top is also selected, the bottom row is selected. So now our basic slot machine is ready for us. Now we need to actually start earning coins and get to know how much each spin is making us win. So to do that, we'll have to copy the same formula out here and we will paste it over here. So now you see it is showing us as diagonally top out here because this is highlighted here, because this conditional is true. But now we don't need to display values out here, we need to calculate the number of coins that are being earned. So for that we'll need to update the formula. So we'll come over here and we will remove the message that is being shown. And now what do we need to do? The very first thing we need to do is we need to enter the value of bet per line that has been set, and we need to multiply it by the multiplier value. So if the value is true, it has to multiply the bet per line value with the multiplier value, and if it is false, it should just show us as 0. So now if you enter, it still shows us as 0 because we have not entered the multiplier and the bet per line value. So let's say we will give the multiplier value as 2 and the bet per line as 3. Now let's see if this value updates. So let's refresh it. Now you see it says that it shows the value as 6 over here because we have won this line. The bet of this line was 3 coins and it had to multiply by 2, so total we have earned 6 coins for betting 3 coins on this line. So now what we need to do is we need to copy the same formula for all the other lines as well. So what I'll do is update this formulas quickly. So now I have updated the formula for all the lines. So let's test and see if we are getting correct values out here. So as you see, as we refresh and as the lines are being highlighted, the values of the coins earned is updating over here. Now let's change this to 5 and see what happens. The lines which are highlighted, the coins earned values are changing out here. That means that our formulas are correct. So now what we need to do is we need to update the total bet and the total one for this spin itself. So for that, what we will do is the total bet is going to be the bet per line, that is 5. And how many lines are there? There are total 5 lines that we're playing for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we will say equal to this value into 5, and the total won amount is going to be the sum of all the coins that are won in this spin. So that is going to be, we're going to say equal to sum starting from here till L16. No, that is L16, yes. And you press enter and see there are 5 lines and we have won 10 coins in each. So that is why it is showing us as 50. So this is the per spin stats that we will see over here. Now we want to see the stats of the total game. So how much have we bet? So now we have to see the total bet that has happened in this game. So what we will do is we will keep adding this value, per spin value, to this value which is accumulating. So we will say equal to this plus, and we need to give this cell reference, that is B13. But if we do that, we will get an error. So let's check it out and see what is the solution for it. You see it's giving us an error. It's saying circular dependency detected. To resolve this, it says go to file and resolve the iterative calculations from the spreadsheet settings. So we come over here, come to spreadsheet settings, come to calculations, and iterative calculations are off. So we need to make this on. And here it says maximum calculation rounds performing during iterative is 1. Here the threshold is 0, that is correct. And then we say okay. Now you see it is showing us as 25. The same thing we will do for this as well. So we will say equal to, that is this value, that is C13 plus this value, and we will say enter, and now it is showing us as 50. So let's keep refreshing it a few times and see if the values are changing. So if you see till we don't change the bet per line, this is going to keep incrementing in multiples of 25 because it is 25 that we are betting in each spin. Unless we change this, this value will not change. But this value will keep changing depending on how much we are winning. So for example, if we change this to 2 now, and now if we see, the values will keep changing of the total bet and the total won amount. Now once this is happening, we even need to update the balance out here. But this balance will depend on the number of coins that we are adding initially. So for that, first we will say the number of coins that are added. So that is equal to the number of coins that are added out here minus the total that has been bet in this game plus the total that we have won. We press enter. So it is showing us as 95 because there is no value showing out here. So let's say we give a value of 100. And then to start off, what we will need to do is we will need to reset all the values first. Now you see any amount of value that you enter over here gets updated here automatically. So this is where the balance is being shown. Now once we do that, we will give the high and the low first. Then we will set the multiplier. So let's set the multiplier to 2 and the bet value to 5. Now as the game progresses, you see the total bet value and the total won values update, and so does the balance update out here. So now we are reaching towards our fully functional slot machine creation. Now let's do a bit of a conditional formatting out here. So let's say format, conditional formatting, and then we will say this cell and the cell value is less than 50. It should highlighted in red to show that you're running low on your coins, and we say done. Now there is one more thing that we need to do is once the value goes into negative, you lose the game. So we need to show an indication for that as well. So let's say we say you lost out here. We do that. Let's set the font as the same font as this one. Let's make it a bit big. And then we will put a conditional formatting for this as well. Conditional formatting. And then we will say custom formula is. And what is the formula that we're looking at? We're looking at equal to this cell, that is B15. So we'll say $B $15 is less than 0. That is the time it should reveal that you lost. And then we say, and it has to be bold. And then we say, no, let's not keep it bold, and say done. And we close that. And by default, let's keep the font color as white. So now what will happen is when the value of your balance goes below 0, it will say that you have lost the game. And then you need to restart the game again. But before that, we will do one more thing, and that is we will calculate the number of spins also in the game. So for that, what we will do is we'll have to use a helper cell out here. The value for that is going to be the same cell, that is N9 plus 1. So once you do that, it shows the value as 1. But we don't want to start with 1, we want to start with 0. So that is why we'll be using a helper cell. And out here, what we will be doing is we'll be saying equal to this minus 6. And then we will hide the cell so that it is not visible by coloring the font as the same color as the background. Now to reset the entire thing, we need to run a macro. And so that what we will do is we will go to tools, go to macros, record a macro. And what we need to do is in this macro is first we need to delete these values completely to restart the game. We need to make this value 0. So we will say Control C, Control V, it becomes 0. And then we will have to do this as 0 as well. Control C, Control V. And then we say save. Name the macro restart game. And then we say save. And it says the macro has been saved. So let's start a new game now and let's check. So the very first thing is, as we would conventionally do, let's say we add 500 coins and you see that the balance is updated here. We give a high and a low. Let's give a low of 1 and let's give a high of 3 this time. Let's set the multiplier to 5 times and let's say the bet per line is 2. As you see, as and when the rows are getting highlighted, we are winning coins out here. And you see we are always in positive. Now let's increase the bet per line to 5 and now see what happens. We're still in the same range. By the way, to refresh it, all you need to do is take your cursor, put it in an empty cell and just keep pressing the delete key on the keyboard and it will spin for you. Basically what it does, it refreshes the values out here. Now you see it shows we are below 50 coins, so it has made it as red. If you want to salvage the situation, the cheating would be we increase the multiplier and decrease the bet per line. So what we'll do is multiplier we will set it as 10 and bet per line we will set it as 2. And now you see we've started progressing now. We are about to lose and now we are again getting salvaged in the situation. Let's change it a bit again. Let's even it out to 5-5 and then see what happens. And there it says you lost. Now you can play all night as long as you want with unlimited coins. Cheat a little bit by increasing the multiplier and lowering the bet value, or changing the difficulty by decreasing the low and the high range. Take a quick break by playing a game or two anytime while people around you think you're busy working in Google Sheets. Do let me know the longest haul you had and how much did you win in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do.
Please like and share this video. The more you like, the more videos I'll make. And don't forget to smash the subscribe button and press the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of my new videos. So till I come back with a new and an interesting video like this one, it's goodbye for now. Take care, ciao, and stay safe.